So everybody is like waiting for the questions to come up.
So we are live now.
Okay. So everybody is like waiting for the questions to come up.
So we are live now.
Okay.
I guess, shall we begin?
Please go ahead.
Okay, a good morning, everyone. It is an honor and privilege for me to welcome you to this expert group meeting on today's webinar of Series 3, Manage Discomfort, Grief, and Loss of Normalcy at Work and Life. I heartily welcome our panelists and our moderator for today's program. I am Michelle Khanna. I have 11 years of experience as a human resource professional and initiated L2S Virtual Learning Connect, whose objective is to bringing together all the professionals and students under a single umbrella, where we all are working together to achieve excellence, sustainable economic and social progress. This unique series of this webinar is designed to provide you a platform to connect with like-minded peers at the early stages of their multiple careers in different sectors. Hear invaluable insights from senior professionals on career advice during these uncertain times and discover how best to support your organization as the coronavirus pandemics unfold. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's webinar. You will have the opportunity to submit text questions to today's guest by typing your question into the chat option. You may send in your question at any time during the webinar. We will collect these and address them during the Q&A at the end of today's session. I request you to please type Q before typing your question. Again, I'll repeat, I request you to please type Q before typing your question. Kindly register yourself to our social channels: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You can find our account by the name of L2S World, L2 as a numeric SWORLD. Soon the links would be shared to you all in the chat box. If you want to get free knowledge and job updates, you can join our Telegram channel by the name of Led Us to Success, and even our LinkedIn page at L2S World. I again welcome our panelist and our moderator for today's program. Now, I would like to introduce our moderator for today's program, Mr. Subhajit Sinha. Subhajit is well known and widely respected thought leader in the learning and performance industry. He has been responsible for driving the strategic direction behind some of the highly reputed IT and publishing giants in India. He has made more than 17 years of experience in global learning and performance strategy, performance innovation, learning technologies, and performance practices. Subhajit Sinha is currently working as a training and development head with IIIDEM Election Commission of India and heading their training and capacity development team. Welcome, Subhajit, and thank you for joining us as a moderator. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michelle, for this lovely introduction, first of all. Really speechless. And I also thank you, everyone. And let's start this session by thanking our esteemed panelists as they took out their time from their busy schedule and agreed to join in today's webinar presented by Ladder to Success. I really appreciate and acknowledge the dedication that Michelle has done to make this webinar live. So before I start, I just wanted to introduce on this topic a little bit, so that we can understand what is the topic and how we can proceed further with the topic. So today's topic is manage discomfort, grief, and loss of normalcy at work and life. So in less than 5 months, COVID-19 outbreak in India and has spread to all states and union territories, infecting more than 2.98 million people across country. Indeed, this is an incident that we will never forget and will become a story that we will narrate to our grandkids. Today's session may guide you narrating the pandemic incident. So if I talk about in this session is not about minimizing what we are facing since March 2020. The session is to give ourselves a balance, to compassionate and to support each other. So let's take a break from our stress, struggle, anger, emotion, and say to yourself or ask to yourself, is it, tell yourself that it is all right, it is absolutely all right, and everything is okay. So that will give you a positive vibe. And just ask one question to yourself: what is not wrong in right now? What is not wrong right now? You just ask this question and be honest to your answers. Believe me, you will get such a motivation and you will find a positive vibe in yourself, though we are facing this pandemic situation. So we don't need to suffer the loneliness or get yourself behind a rock. The better approach would be you be compassionate to yourself and emanate positive vibration out to others. So now I will just request and I will introduce our esteemed panelists, starting with Dr. GP Rao. So it's a well-known name. It's a well-known name in this HR industry. Mr. GP Rao, Dr. GP Rao is a senior HR professional having a rich experience of 37 years in the entire gamut of human resource with SAIL, JK organizations, Reliance Industries in India and Malaysia, at mines, factories, and corporate offices. He founded his consultancy in 2014, if I'm not wrong, famous as Google People Relations Business Coaching. Good People Relation Business Coaching, I'm sorry. His expertise in business excellence, capability development, synergy creation, and power learning sessions. Dr. GP Rao has been awarded for his valuable contributions from National HRD Network, HR Professionals of the Year Award, and the HR Leadership Excellence Award at Singapore, Achievers Award at Colombo, and in New Delhi. He was facilitated as the Silver Jubilee Conference of NHRDN for his long and immense contribution and many more. So I really thank you so much for joining us today, sir. Our second speaker for today's webinar is Ms. Ruma Bateja. First of all, I thank you on behalf of the group for taking out your valuable time for this wonderful webinar. And we are excited to hear you at length, that is for sure. I would like to try and give a small introduction for Ms. Ruma Bateja. She is a thorough leader with 18 years of experience in the field of people strategy, HR analytics, capability and building, and alumni of XLRI, and with a management degree in HR. She has been pivotal in setting up HR functions for scratch in many organizations with special role in cultural transformations. A value-driven and result-oriented professional with a blend of technology and business acumen. She has worked with Fortune 500 companies, multinational and startups. Currently, I think she is the HR head of Knowledgistic Research and also a prolific writer. You can read her articles in Economic Times, People Matters, Times of India, I Am Jobs, and Business Manager magazines. So thank you so much, Shuruma, for joining us today. It will be a wonderful experience. Nevertheless, the list is really long and it's wonderful. The next speaker for today's is Ms. Meenakshi Khera, another big name in HR market. She is the director of HR Evume Selection Report, a seasoned HR professional with more than 2 decades of comprehensive experience in end-to-end gamut of HRM. Wonderful experience, and that is again in IT, manufacturing, hospitality, health sectors. I mean, all the sectors has been covered now. She has also happened to be the General Secretary, Professional Network Group, PNGI. Meenakshi is a regular speaker in various HR forums and panelists, sharing her views on best practices around the talent acquisitions and management. Meenakshi is an inheritor of the top 100 HR Minds and Super Achiever Award and 5th Feminine World Women Leadership Congress Award at World HRD Congress. Oh, wonderful. That's an amazing thing. It's not end here. It's many more to go. She's a guest speaker, panelist for various institutes of management. Delhi Pharmaceutical Science Research University, Amity University, Sharda University, LinkedIn local chapters, and many more. The names are, there's no limit. Besides getting the Lifetime Employee of Decade award at Fast Booking, she has been regularly contributing to leading HR magazines and newspapers such as People Matters, The Human Factor, People and Management, NHRD, Dainik Jagran, etc., on future challenges of HR. So thank you so much again, Meenakshi, for joining us in today's webinar. Thank you so very much. Our last but not the least speaker is Mr. Kumar Vineet Sinha. He's a head human resource for Manlift India region. A very highly effective, goal-driven and versatile operational improvement specialist with a head for strategy, keen business sense, and a track record of achievements, only achievements. He has more than 16 years of experience in journalist HR profile as a business partner in various industries, focusing on leading and implementing change, project delivery, influencing business, and HR management. Such a wonderful panelist we have, and we are really thankful that we got you four people as our panelists, and you actually took out your time from your busy schedule. I thank a lot. So, if I say let's start the topic, the first thing comes in my mind when we talk about this topic, you know, uh, what do you mean by grief? What is grief? So, if Dr. Rao, if you can really give us your opinion on how we talk about grief and what triggers grief, actually. Over to you, sir.
Actually, yeah. Thank you, Subhajit. Wonderful start. Good
Thank you, sir.
co-panelist. Uh, well, let's start about grief. Grief is the result, actually. So we are grieved over something. We have lost something. We missed something. So then we get into grief. Grief is present and little bit of future. So there are symptoms of grief for different people. Some people, they express the grief. Some people don't express the grief. So whether we take students or corporate executives and family members. So the symptoms that we see is the extreme is depression. The minimum that we see is there is something less than the normal. So the extreme is pessimism. So the minimum that happens in grief is their contribution is slightly coming down. So it's a range. It is the feeling of present, and if it continues for long, it will be and it takes us to the future. So I will stop here, then we'll come back.
Right.
I just stopped here,
Absolutely.
then I'll come back.
Right. So absolutely rightly said by Dr. G.P. Rao. It's the range which is coming from present and going to the future, and that is what grief is. So I just have one point. So what is fears for the future, Dr. Rao? What is that?
Yeah.
How we can proceed about that?
In fact, the focus. See, something has happened. Whether it's COVID, whether it's a strike, whether it's a loss of job, or loss of a job opportunity. This has happened. We can't do anything. Sometimes we can't undo anything. So I always give example of height and weight. The height is given. I can't do anything. Whereas weight I can manage. So we should be very clear, no? So whether you want to brood over the thing or you acknowledge and accept the thing, it's our choice. So the future is in our hands, actually. And some people have this phobia. I mean, something that's called chronophobia. It's worrying about the future. This is what happens. So the fear is always future. The grief, pain, loss is past. So the fear for a student is, will our exams be held? He's worried. Will I get an opportunity to do well in my exams? Or when he's in the second year, will I get the offer that was given to me? Will I get an offer? Will people come for placements? So these are the fears he starts thinking. Now a corporate executive sees, will I retain my job? Will I get the reward that was promised to me? So these are the fears for the corporate executives on the job front. The second one is on the health point of view. The COVID has brought about a new dimension around health. We were never worried about health. We were always worried about careers, jobs, increments, promotions, and all. Now we are worried about health also. And even if we are physically fit, the virus can attack us for some faltering by somebody. The second fear is around health of myself and my family. My family. So this is the second fear. The third fear is the livelihood by himself. If the economy fails, so what will happen to my livelihood? The three aspects I put it is, one is the career, the second is the life, the third is the income. So these are all about future. So these are the fears of the future. Some people accept the reality, believe in their self, see what is not wrong. Many things are not wrong. I mean, you gave me a hint. Many things in life are not wrong. There are many opportunities are still exist. Many challenges have brought about new opportunities. E-learning is an opportunity. Online working is an opportunity. Pharma opportunity. Healthcare is an opportunity. Digitization is an opportunity. So if you can see, so many things have not gone wrong. So some people accept what has gone wrong. That's all. They will just leave. Not accepting is also wrong. You can't say nothing has happened to me. That's also not wrong. Not crying is also not right. So fine, something has happened. I accept it. So what else I do? Do I have some strength? Do I have something I'm good at? Can I be adaptable? Can I change? Can I draw the help from others? Do I have good well-wishers who can help me? Can I try out something new? And then go ahead. So that will reduce the fear of failures, or the future of fear of future, or this chronophobia. I mean, all that will reduce. So the more will depend on me. What has
That's
happened never depended upon me. They didn't ask me when they caused me loss. But the fear, the anxiety for the future, I am more responsible. So that's the dimension I'm bringing, whether it's a student or a corporate executive, a member of a family. Right.
Right, sir. That's a fantastic point that you give. And the most important point that you gave are the 3 points, that is the fear of career, income, and livelihood, which actually comprise all the needs of a human being who is staying today healthy and wealthy and wise. Uh, and as you said, it is absolutely correct that you have to change yourself and you have to adapt as per the situation. Now, right now in this pandemic situation, we have adapted to a new lifestyle that is called work from home. Earlier it was like a pleasure, or a perk kind of thing from the organization. That is it a perk that we are working from home? Now it has become a necessity. So the adaptation is absolutely important, absolutely right, sir. And that is why we call it experience speaks. The experience that you have with you is actually giving us a bright light, so how we can handle this pandemic situation with a smile on our face.
Thank you.
So, Ruma, I just wanted to ask you one question. How do you take, and what is your take on worry about loved ones, or, how we will face this as a grief, that is also part of grief, if I'm not wrong. So how will you talk about it? What is your opinion on it?
See, Shubhajit, when we talk about the current pandemic, worry is
Right.
something which will automatically come because the data states it is a time to worry for sure. Recently, our company has conducted a research on COVID and the numbers speaks greatly about it. The global growth average rate for cases in the last 2 months of COVID has climbed up to 179%. However, in
My God.
India, do you know it has exponentially grown to 741%. So when I have to compare India's condition of handling the pandemic versus how the global rates are moving. So we really need to worry about, frankly speaking. However, I like GP's analogy in this case, that we can't do something about our height, but we can do something about our weight. So worry is an innate ability that has been instilled in humans since the very beginning. We all have a habit to take pressure on the basis of presumptions and assumptions. While we get trapped in this wheel, the real reason for worry starts to dissipate. So instead of feeling decimated by the thought of what will happen to our loved ones, we should focus on worrying with an action. I am
Yes.
sure that a lot of people here do not spend time with their own family members. The daughters, the son, they want their parents to play games with them. Your parents want the, people like us, our parents, the elderly one, the senior citizens, the one who are really prone to this particular pandemic, they're worried in their own way. They do not say it to us because we have so much pressure in this world. Are we really doing justice by spending time with them? Are we listening to their issues? Are we helping them sail through the crisis? So just worry as a word is of no use till the time we do not act upon it. Certainly, it is time for us to worry, but what have we done? For example, what we do in our organization, I'll give you a small example. Every weekend, we have a senior citizen singing, what do you call that, Baitak. We call this Hindi word called Baitak. So our employees, parents who are interested, comes up together as a group and we create certain musical extravaganza for them. It helps them not only to connect to their own son or daughter who work for us, but it's a beautiful platform. When they come, they express about their feelings, the worries what they are facing during this current COVID crisis. So that's what is important. Be with them, help them to sail through this crisis. That's what I would want to say at this point of time.
Thank you so much, Ruma, for this wonderful update. And I completely agree with your viewpoint that it is absolutely correct that whatever you are saying is what we are actually we should do and go ahead on that. On that note, I would try to know from Minakshi, what is your thought on that? How we would actually get triggered from any loss? You know, every loss is which give us grief. So, what according to you is the biggest grief nowadays, which we should work on that? Minakshi.
Okay, thank you so much, Michelle, for organizing such a wonderful webinar on the most relevant topic we are in. And thank you so much. I'm really glad to be a part of such an esteemed panel. And we keep meeting in a lot of forums here and there. In fact, first of all, namaste to all the participants here, and many thanks, heartfelt thanks, to spare this Sunday morning, which is a family time for all of you, and you are here to learn something new out of all of us, and then you are here to hear our thoughts on various topics we'll be sharing here in this platform. So in fact, it's a great honor to be a part of such platforms, because we always learn from each other. So, Michelle, without further delay, I would like to really touch upon this topic. You rightly said we are all in this pandemic situation, wherein we are all distracted, we are all stressed, and these are all the situations which are created by our own mind. The stress, the paranoid situations, all are created with us and at us. So the news, which we see nowadays, keeps pouring all the negativity. It becomes scary, because when we see our family members at risk, we need to engage our kids, who are all the time indoors, and we need to engage them doing something constructive. With so much of stress going around, physically and mentally, I would like to quote here that, when going gets tough, the tough gets going. So I would like to share a few mantras which really help in reducing the stress, which are very basic. In this pandemic, what I have realized, that we are all going to basics. If you remember that we never used to, we used to be only with family in the old era. But with the growing of technology, with people, I mean, getting into a digital era, we are going away from basics, and this pandemic has really taught us that how to get back to your basics, where you are actually spending most of your time with your family, with your loved ones. So the first mantra I would like to actually share is to reduce your stress whenever you are in is exercise regularly. Exercise regularly, as in that you need to really really work on your physical fitness. That really helps, I would say. That's something which I have been managing on myself. And with the so much of chores around, it is always, we always say that time nahi hai, you know exercise karne ka time nahi hai, there is no time. Actually the time is made, time is taken out. If you're passionate about doing something, about achieving something, you will always take out time for that. And trust me, when you are doing exercises, when you are working on your fitness, the endorphins, the positive hormones are secreted, and that really helps in maintaining your state of mind calm and composed. So there are so many apps nowadays: YouTube video apps, fitness apps, wellness apps. You can do yoga, pranayam. This really helps. The next point I would like to actually highlight here is connect with people. Yes, connect with people as much as possible. You need to vent out your emotions, which is extremely important in today's era, because when we are staying in a virtual world, people have stopped interacting. I remember in the olden era, when we used to have a letter, that blue page, jisko hum chithi kehte the. So people used to share their feelings through those letters, but they used to interact. Now we just we have all the means, we have phones, mobile, everything we have, but then still we try to chat, which is one way, I would say. It is always better to connect, to talk to people, vent out, be a good listener, because there are so many people who just want to speak, but there are very few people who want to listen, who want to give your ear to listen to your thoughts, give a shoulder to actually lean on and cry on. So another mantra I would like to share is take adequate rest. Yes, sleep. Sleep is very, very important. If you are not sleeping sufficiently, I'm sure you will get up with a very heavy mind, and you will be sort of struggling with your day to day chores. So that's important. Another important aspect is healthy diet. It's important. I'm talking only about basics, but we forget in our day-to-day life. There is nobody to actually remind us on all these things. We know, heart in heart, we know all these things, but then somewhere we just forget. So healthy diet plays a very, very important role. Whenever you are working, just surround yourself with fruit bowls, or some granola bars, or some nuts, which are healthy. Don't do binge eating, because we'll end up doing binge eating when we are in stress. The another mantra is get yourself organized. It's very, very important. Just organize yourself, organize your home, organize your mind. Get up in morning, spend 30 minutes, the first half an hour, to make a to-do list of what you want to achieve in that day. And then just keep marking, what all you have achieved. Trust me, there's a very basic mantra, but it really helps in organizing your professional and personal chores. And the most important, the last mantra I would like to highlight is entertain yourself. It is important, friends. It is important. You can't really just keep working, working, and working. You need a source of entertainment. Play with your kids, play with your parents, your friends, or maybe just work on your hobby, which you were not able to do, when you were just traveling for few hours to your office, struggling with heavy traffic or pollution, and so on and so forth. So practice all these things. I'm sure that these things really help in maintaining a very calm and composed mental state of mind. That's it from my side, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi. I really appreciate the things which you have said. That time is an important resource. We can earn money any moment of our life, but yes, we cannot waste our time, and time is an excellent resource. On that note, again, we also need to value the time as we are running short for that with the different sections. On that note, Vineet, I'm coming last to you. That what do you think exactly is happening around the grief which everybody is facing, and everybody needs to come out, like especially the clashes which is there at home place which we talk about. This is also one of the grief, as right now everybody is working on, and everybody look forward that what exactly we need to come across, because somehow in every member in our family they are struggling with this pandemic, right? Be it a children, be it a wife, be it a mother, be it a parent, be it a husband, be it brother, sister, whosoever is staying, and what exactly is going on. And even with the new policies as government is coming across, like paying our utilities, how are we going to pay the utilities, how are we going to pay the rent, the moratorium, the salaries are getting deducted. I guess you are the best person to tell us about how this thing would help us, and look forward to handle those level of grief which is coming on day to day life. So what is your views on that, Vineet? Over to you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Michelle, and thank you everyone to join on this discussion today. Uh, I have not prepared anything as such, but this is a very general and basic discussion that will be happening, and I am glad that I can actually give my inputs in this. Family clashes. Family clashes. I'll go back to Mahabharata time, where the best of the clashes that happened was between Kauravas and Pandavas, and this is a set example how a family clash happened, and nothing can be bitter than what has happened and what we have seen in Kurukshetra. Currently, in during the pandemic times, yes, the one of the most important things that we have learned as an HR person is to value another person, and and it's not only us, it's been the organization also who have started learning that yes, it is the HR person who holds the key now. Earlier HR was not, it was actually on a back seat most of the time, but pandemic actually gave us the front seat or the captain seat now. So we are driving at a lot of places, and by saying that, I actually moved out from one of the organization and I joined another organization during the pandemic and the lockdown. So a lot of people, it's my personal experience that I'm talking about, that a lot of people told me that, what are you doing? Why are you moving and why are you risking your job? And you are well settled in Mahindra and good, you can stay over there. I decided to take a risk because till the time you don't take a risk in life, you will not do anything in life. Family clashes, it is all about your mental state of mind. How good are you in terms of handling a situation at home? So if you value your partner, if you value your child, if you value your parents, you will take your, they will give all the best of the suggestions. And that's the best way of looking at it. Clashes can never happen. Clashes can only happen when you have got an ego inside. There are a lot of men who feel that they are superior and women, they are not superior. So it is, the family clashes is not just because of pandemic. We have seen a lot of domestic violences happening before the pandemic also. There are so many negative news happening all around that there are so many things which is happening against women and also men. We had so many laws, the internal complaints committee, the posh thing. So everything was there, but still the family clashes is still happening. And during the pandemic times, unfortunately, it rose to around 45%. So just because the mental state of people are not as good as what we're looking at. So what they should do, they should respect each other. They should give time. Very important, make time for a quality time. So when you're spending time with your family, spend as much time in case wherein your wife, your parents, your kids, they value you. If they want a space from your side, you should give them the space, and you should not be there on their head all the time saying that you are there at home and you can only take the decision. It's not a one way of looking at it. On the second part, how to pay the utility bills, the electricity bills, the EMIs. I am one of the best examples. I have taken a car loan two days back. So people will not, it's again a risk that I have taken in life. So because I love to take risk, people should always have that kind of potential that yes, tomorrow if they have got a plan A problem, they should always go for a plan B in life. So you should always make a plan B ready. You should not only depend on the financial support that an organization is giving to you, but yes, as a head of the family, you should always take care of the other things that needs to be taken care of. you always remember that since as a head of the family, there are kids who look up to you. They always feel that their mom and dad are their, you can say, the benchmark of their life. They are the heroes of their life, right? So you can't let them down in terms of doing anything which will give them a kind of a insecurity that my father or my mother cannot do certain things in life for them. So you should always take care of all those things, the financial requirement. Have a diary. You start noting it. What are the expenses that you are incurring on a daily life? So it gives you a complete volume of things. If you remember, purane time mein, there were a lot of Munim ji who used to write what was your daily expenses, and then you try to cut down on your expenses. It's the same set of things that we should still do. We are working on a lot of things, the Excel files, the presentation. We have got so many gadgets now, but the basic thing is, if you know how to control your budget, you can pay your utility bills on time. Don't use credit card. I don't use credit card. I will always advise people not to use a credit card, because credit card is wrong thing. You cannot say that I have got a credit limit of 5 lakh rupees and you'll spend everything saying that you have got enough of money. No, that's not your money. That is someone who has lended you that money. Don't use your credit card. Put your money, invest your money at a proper FDs. You do some kind of SIPs, which will help to sustain your future. So that's the kind of value input that I can give at this point of time. And thank you very much, Michelle. Once again, I hope I had contributed in some or the other way, because my topic was something different when it comes to family clashes. I am a family man. I give time to my daughter. I ensure that we play around. We have got a lot of things during the lockdown. We made a lot of cakes. We made a lot of bakery things. So that's the kind of intent you should have. You should never go on the negative side of life, because see, life is very short. Time will never come back. Whatever you have to enjoy right now.
Fantastic, Vineet. Thank you so much for giving us such a wonderful brief on that how we can cordial more relation with family on that note. And I really, really appreciate the way the things which you have shared us as the way you have spent time with your family. It is something which I believe everyone is doing right now, and everyone is coming out that how they can help each other rather than creating issues and creating an egos in the families. It's better that to come across and be more cordial with each other. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful thing. So welcome back, Subhajit, as our
Thank you
moderator
so
got
much.
disconnected for some reason. So now over to you. Your section is again. It's you.
Thank you so much for helping me. Thank you so much. Vineet, I just have one question to ask, because the moment I joined, you said that I am spending time with my daughter. Why not with your wife?
See, we work in different times. My wife is in the evening shift, so she's an IT professional. So by time I'm back from office, see, I've been going to office since lockdown 3. So
Right.
22nd of May, I've been a warrior in myself, that I go and I go to the office and ensure that
Wonderful.
of people are there, and it's just a fear in the mind that it's COVID, right?
Right.
We
Right.
need to take all the precautions, but at the same time, you need to work also, right? So if you,
Absolutely.
the economy will go down. So we are trying to do as much as possible. So by the time I come back home, my wife is there in the evening shift. So I need to take care of my daughter. So I need to make her busy all the time. So I try to do my best, but that's it.
I understand that.
Otherwise, if I'll talk more about it. For family clash वाला definition मेरे अंदर में भी यहाँ भी आ जाएगा.
Exactly, and उसमें there can be problem that will come up
Yes,
again if you are
yes.
if we are recording this, and we can share that with ma'am also.
Yeah.
Like what you are saying.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Acha, so now we have, I think we have completed the first section of this webinar. I believe the second part of this webinar, the questioning part, is very much important. And there are certain questions I wanted to know the answers, because they are very crucial questions, and it's like my mind questions. So I just wanted to ask few questions if our panelist is okay and good to go. Thank you. So GP has already shows his thumbs up. How about Ruma, Meenakshi?
Yeah, Ruma also had Ruma, Meenakshi,
Oh,
everybody.
Meenakshi is also show. Well,
Everybody.
and Vineet, you are okay? Shall we start? Great. So
Absolutely,
I have,
absolutely.
sorry,
Absolutely, Shubhajit. Whatever you say, we have
thank
to follow you.
So it's a very, I mean, these questions are really very interesting question, I would rather say. So the first question that I have again for GP, I would ask you this question first of all. What is more stressful for us in future, the impact of COVID-19 or the fear of losing normalcy?
The latter. Actually, the latter is true. I mean, people are more worried about the future. I mean, whether reason or whether that is right or wrong, this is reality. More than the COVID, people are worried about other things. I mean, what will
Right.
happen to the life? What will happen to livelihood? What will happen future? Will I be able to travel? Will I be able to meet the demands? Will I be able to get my house completed? I mean, people are worried more on that future, more than the COVID. People are more worried about, they call it post COVID, they call it impact of COVID, and they're worried. This is what is happening. If you are, that's the straight answer.
Right. But don't you think, GB, right now, what is happening? You know, we are only talking about COVID, and we are actually losing the normal life. By talking about only COVID, we are bringing up negative thoughts in our mind. However, we can also see that from the COVID, the fighters percentage are pretty high than other part of the world in India. So why we are taking so much stress? I mean, which is not so clear.
Two things have happened. One is the dimension and the size of impact of COVID. It definitely bigger, larger, unforeseen. I mean, that is one reason. So most of us got a shock. That was one reason. The second reason is it spread. So, I mean, it didn't spare anybody. So
Actually,
that was the second reason. Second reason. The third reason is, I don't want to blame anybody, but definitely the media, the press, you just open a TV, you see a WhatsApp message, COVID, 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 that has
yes.
multiplied this. But then good sense has prevailed. Good people like Vineet, Ruma, Meenakshi, they're not only working in the organizations, they're spreading the good things beyond we call it beyond business. So people
Right.
now have reconciled. Now they said, no, COVID is not the end of life. Huh.
Right.
COVID is an event. Even a tufan goes away. I mean, so COVID is an event. So we can live even with COVID. I mean, people are now talking. I mean, one is COVID will go. That is one way of doing. The other people is, even if COVID doesn't go, we can live with COVID. I mean,
Right.
we lived in thatched houses where it was raining and it was draining. I mean,
Right.
I lived in a village where there was no bus facility. Huh. I lived in a village, there was no electricity. I lived in a village, English was not taught. I mean, in spite of all that, there is a way to live. So same way people are getting ready. Future, I mean, I am seeing positivity. People are learning. They are liking their life. No, people have started liking their lives. So
Liking the
that's
life.
why
Yes,
they're taking
absolutely.
care of their health, they're taking care of their food, they're taking care of their lifestyles. So people have started liking their lives. The second one is, people have now learned how to get livelihood. Earlier, it was guaranteed job, guaranteed promotion. So there will be, the competition is larger. So people will now learn. That's why they're learning new languages, new skills, new ways of working, new way of alignment, new way of partnership. So people are learning. So one way liking the life, the other way is learning the livelihood. Both are happening. So I am looking forward to better things in future.
That's
Great.
wonderfully said. Yeah.
Subhajit, I just would like to add here, when Dr. Rao actually rightly put it across that the greatest, the lesson which we have learned during COVID-19 is humanity. So humanity is something which we have all learned because we are all here in this phase together. So that's the
Yes.
greatest lesson we have learned. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just to add on what Meenakshi just said, humanity is what we have learned, and we started loving the humans. You know, now we are understanding human means humans. They are not, robots. And
Yeah.
as GP rightly said, lacking their life, that is a fantastic sentence that has been used. Lacking a life means you're absolutely lacking your own life, you got the importance of your life, you understand what is life, and you got started loving your life. So lacking the life and learning the livelihood. That's a fantastic statement, sir.
Thank you.
Fantastic. uh, Again, Rao sir, I will not leave you soon
No,
because I
no.
have another question.
You started liking me.
Yes, I started liking you and the livelihood also, sir. So, what is your take on this statement? Moving on with your life means forgetting about your loss. I'm repeating. What
See,
is your take on this statement? Moving
see,
on with your life means forgetting about your loss.
yeah. See, if you want to get what you wanted and what you wanted in future, learn forgetting. To get, you have to forget. Forgetting, you have to forget. Same way, if somebody had caused a loss to you, maybe God, maybe circumstances, maybe government, maybe your family, maybe the community, maybe the society, someone has caused a loss to you. You want to be human, you want to give back to them, you have to forgive. If you don't forgive, you cannot give. Similarly, if you want to get what you wanted, what you missed out, you have to forget. So forgetting should be a mantra, forgiving a mantra, so that we can go give. Like we can do our dharma of contributing to the organization, that giving to the society, giving to the humanity, and getting what I want. All of us want it. When I say livelihood is actually I want. I want to live. It is a want. So all that I want to get, so I have to forget. So that's what I will advise that to the students, executives, and the family members. That's what I'm.
Great. That is absolutely correct. When we say that moving on with your life means forgetting about your loss, means you have to move ahead, even if you are losing our own, family or partner or anyone. But still, we are living our life and we are working for the others who are staying with us. So I also agree with GP. We have to move on because that is the only mantra that will give us the energy to move further and to achieve our goal in our life and to support our family members. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. I mean,
Thank
today
you.
I actually understood the meaning of this statement.
Thank you.
Uh, Sir, now I just have another question from Ruma. Can I ask you a question, please?
Sure, Shubhajit.
Yeah. What can individual or employers do to manage all these grief? Because we are talking about grief, normalcy. So, what is your take on it?
Shubhajit, let me start by answering this question on myself. What I
Okay.
follow, if there are issues which comes up in my life, what do I follow? And then probably I can correlate it with how we are doing it in our organization or with our client organization.
Right. Right.
I follow the mental script of I own my emotion. So, if you know, emotional responsibility is the precondition of emotional influence. Our thoughts, our impulse is what
Right.
drives us. And if we cannot control our mind, obviously our mind becomes the master, which is not a good symptom at all. We cannot control what is going to happen, the future. The only thing which is there in our hand is our present. Hence, controlling our emotions, controlling our thought is something very, very important. And COVID has taught that to a great extent. So I always say, as a matter of fact, the positive connotation of this pandemic in
Right.
our life ahead, we have always thought there is a race, we have to win the race. In the race, we have to achieve XYZ designation, we have to achieve so and so bank balance. I need my daughter to study in the best school of Gurgaon. I need
Right.
to spend, my money here and I don't know. I mean, endless. And I myself come from a very small town. I remember half of the time there was no electricity in the town. So inverter backup was limited. So I have studied in candles, I have studied in lanterns at that point of time. So I used to remember there was a thread which got dipped
Hello.
in a oil, kerosene oil, then fill it. And there was a beautiful shape.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, Meenakshi, you have to say something, I believe.
So that is a kind of background I come from. The only thing what I've taught what my parents have taught me, that never give up. Never give up
Right.
what is in your control. Just try to manage it. So grief, worrying, future, nothing is in our hand. And when nothing is in our hand, the only thing which is in our hand is to control our thoughts, our emotions. And if you know, and if you do more study, most of these diseases come from, these are called psychosomatic illnesses.
Okay.
Psychosomatic illnesses, all of these arise from the thought patterns we follow. I do a lot of meditation now as compared to my initial years, because initial years was more targeted towards achieving something. Now, achievement is a Pandora's box. I will never know how successful I am today, how successful
Yes.
I was yesterday, or how successful I will be tomorrow. It's a
True
race
that.
which is useless to actually be a part of. So that's the most and the first important element which I would want to tell to our audience today. Do not run after anything. Something is there for you, will definitely come. First point. Second point, this grief, this worry, this which causes psychosomatic illnesses, let's give a pause. Let's control our emotions. Let own our emotions. There are many ways, many training programs centered around it. In fact, we have our wellness centers, and we also cater to a lot of clients outside India, because Knowledgetics Research basically have clients from Europe and North America primarily. So we have a group of pranic healers, physiotherapists, clinical psychologists who create mental wellness programs for our consulting clients. So it's a beautiful journey which these guys have interwoven. Thankfully, I am also part of journey. I learn a lot, and that has helped me to grow in my life, not in terms of numbers, not in terms of money, not in terms of how many flat or how many houses I own, but in terms of that satisfaction, in terms of that happiness is what I have gained, and that helps me to see COVID more as a teacher than as a pandemic to that extent. It's everything is on our hand. We need to give it the right shape. I can
Absolutely.
talk more and more on that, but I think I
I
should
can
restrict
understand that. But
myself.
you actually said, no, no, Ruma, I absolutely rightly said, and I can absolutely agree to it in second with that what you said, that don't give up and don't run after the things that you're looking for. It will come automatically to your place. You just do your work. That is the best thing. So fantastically said. Thank you so much again for lighting on this point and giving us a bright idea about it. Now, Vineet, I have one small question for you also. Are you ready?
Yes, please.
Great. So, Vineet, what healing strategies we should opt for ourselves and others when grief doesn't go away?
See, I'll again start with my personal experience, and what I
Right,
follow
right.
is I always remember the worst day of my life, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you must have seen it, and that gives a lot of internal power, internal energy.
Energy, yes, absolutely.
And if you start comparing your worst day, which has happened with you in your life, and with your present situation, which you are into currently, you will feel that
Mm.
this is still better than what I have seen earlier. And that gives
Already second to it.
you a lot of strength, Shubhajit. Just be, it's one of the it's your own way of motivating yourself by comparing what has happened in future, in past, and then you start to balance it out. The other way of
Right.
taking care of grief, because see, grief, as Dr. Rao has stated, that it it is irreparable loss, right? So grief can be somebody you lost it in your family. You cannot see that person again in life. So that's the biggest of the grief that can happen, and I have seen it when I was a child. So obviously for me, that's the grief which I always feel that, yes, if I could have uh, reshaped that past memory into something good, things would have been different. I would not have been a HR person right now. I would have been an IS officer sitting in front of you. So
Right, correct.
completely different. The other way of looking at it is, I listen to a lot of music. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are into any kind of a mental stress at any point of time, music is the best healer.
The best. Yes,
Perfect
absolutely.
healer. You have a headphone, you sing, you hymn. You if you have got a karaoke system, you got a lot of application these days. You start singing.
Even bathroom singing is good.
Yes, see, bathroom singing. See, people, there are a lot of people who cannot tolerate. But yes,
Right.
there is a better way of singing because you've got a music with it, and then it gives you an internal peace. And
Right. Absolutely.
I have been telling it to a lot of my people that please start singing. If you feel that you can't sing, hymn, because that gives you a lot of satisfaction, and the stress automatically releases. So that's the other
Exactly.
I practice.
That's wonderful. I mean, that is the best way to release your stress out, and you can think about good things about yourself. That is what I also do. Even if I feel, I am disheartened or maybe I am not confident today, I either talk to
Shubhajit,
my
your
old
voice is
friends
missing. I'm
because
not able to hear you. Hello.
is it okay now? Is it better?
Yeah, Subhajit, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I was just saying I also follow the same practice. Even if I find myself, low sometimes, I make sure that I talk to my old friends because I feel if they can handle me, anybody can handle me. So that is what I believe. So that
Correct.
is the best thing what you said. Meenakshi, I have one very small question to you. What do you do when you are distracted, stressed, or paranoid due to this pandemic situation? Because why I ask you this question, because I can see that you have a peace on your face always. So that is why I find this question relevant to you.
Okay. Yeah, Subhajit, thank you so much. In fact, I've been able to achieve this mental state in the recent time thanks to this pandemic. It's been really a blessing, I would say, for me, because there were a lot of challenges I have gone through in my life as well. I was really
Right.
in a very low state of mind. It happens when you're working for such a long time. You are a mother, you're a daughter, you're a wife, you need to justify all the fronts without having a guilt in your mind that you are, because I'm a perfectionist by nature. So,
Right.
it's actually, as all the panelists have highlighted, that this is all the, having stress or, feeling low. These are all your self created to an extent, I would say. And when it is right, like building up, body gives you an alarm, but we ignore that alarm.
Right.
If
Absolutely.
we actually respond to those alarms there and then, trust me, you can get out of that situation. There is a quote by Sadhguru I would like to highlight here, because I listen to Sadhguru, I listen to Brahma Kumari, VK Shivani, because I personally feel that I start my day, the first hour of my day, I start with all the positivity around, wherein I try to listen all the positive quotes or hear some positive music which really elevate my mood, and I end my day also with positivity. And that
Wonderful. Wonderful.
actually keeps me calm, composed, positive during the day when we are all in the battlefield, handling, managing different chores of life. So I was wanting to quote this, by Sadhguru. It is a Hindi quote. कोई काम तनावपूर्ण नहीं है, यह आपके शरीर, मन और भावनाओं को प्रबंधित करने में अक्षम है जो इसे तनावपूर्ण बनाते हैं. So it is basically the situation which makes you, which keeps you, which actually force you to get into that state. So
Right.
what I manage is, Subhajit, I start my day very early. It is again basics I'm talking about. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man
Keeps a man
healthy,
healthy,
wealthy,
wealthy,
and
and
wise.
wise.
Yeah.
That
So
is correct. Yeah.
I start my day with all the, no matter schools are not on, kids are not going to schools, we are not going to office, but I start my day well on time, the way I used to do before. I take regular breaks when during the, home chores. I, personally remind myself that there's a time to just get up and take some break, take some good snacks around, or give yourself a well deserved break, which help you in work efficiently. I
Absolutely.
also have a designated workstation in my home So there's a little corner, which actually I feel that that is my designated workstation. So when I am there, I actually get into a working mode. And that reminds my mind that, okay, there's a
Super.
time to actually get on to work and manage your professional chores. Stick to a schedule, which is very important. Whatever the crisis situation you are in, stick to your agenda, what you have made in the morning hours. That really helps you in keeping your mind organized, be it small pointers, maybe small goals to start with. But that gives you a sense of achievement, that okay, these are the things you've been able to do in that on that day. Self care is very important, that I have been following religiously. Come what may be, whatever the situation is, I am home, I am not home, I am in a deep stress or lot of chores around, but that self care, when you look good, you feel good, confident from inside. So that's again very, very important. So that self care, I keep telling all, especially the women, that during the course they actually forget to take our time to manage their own health when they are taking care of everybody around. But when it comes to their own self, they forget that. But please trust me, body is your best friend, best soul. So please don't ignore that. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Wonderfully said. Wonderfully said. And I really understand why that peace is there in your face right now, because that is really important actually. Because
Yeah.
if you are stable and peace from inside, you can actually handle the stress in a very better way, and the productivity will automatically go high if you are feeling fresh from your side. So that's a wonderful point that you have said. Fantastic, Meenakshi. Uh, Michelle, I mean, I think I have all the questions that I have to ask. I've asked all my panelists. I'm really satisfied and happy. And believe me, this is a fantastic session. If you have any questions from a panelist, you can ask. I don't have any questions further.
Thank you so much, Subhajit. And yes, it is wonderful. And I'm seeing that this topic is so much interesting. And all the, not
Yes,
only the panelists, even the participants, we are so
participants
glad.
are also
Yes,
keep on
they are so
they're
interesting. And
writing.
I am really, really, trust me, I'm engaging myself to reading their, comments, and they're participating, especially Harbhajan Singh,
Absolutely.
sir. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
yes, yes.
participating too much. Sandeep, Hirish. Thank you. There are a lot of people who are participating, and I request all of them to please share your questions so that we could ask them. And I guess before I ask one question, of course, I have one question which is pending for
Okay.
all the panelists. But I believe
I know.
let's not cut down the time, and we first start initiating the polling right now. So I request each and everyone that we are starting with the we are now launching the poll, and everyone could please participate on that. So here is
I request Harbhajan sir to speak also for 2 minutes.
sure, of course, we will have the sections for that. Definitely, Irish, thank you so much for letting us know. And in the meantime, before we go forward, I would request the poll is in front of you. There are three questions. One is does your grief have an end date? So less than, and I would request each and everyone could please participate on all the three questions, even the panelist also, even the moderator, and even all
Okay.
participants. The second question is what effect it has on your mental health. And the third one is your coping strategy to grief. I would expect more participants. Please quickly um, vote, and there should be more participation level so that we could share the results as well.
Done.
Till now, thank you. Till now, we have 50% participation. So let me be a little more tempted and let have more than 70% votes. And whosoever has not voted yet, please, I request everyone to quickly vote. 60%. We have reached to 60% participants. Thank you so much. Again, we are a request rest of the participant who has not voted, please quickly vote. 66%. I'm
Oh,
getting more
wonderful,
tempted,
wonderful.
Subhajit.
Have you voted?
Yes, I have voted too.
Wonderful.
Though we cannot cast vote, but still I did find a chance to cast my vote. 73%. Wonderful. So I am just waiting for 10 more seconds so that if by any chance, if someone has not voted, so please take your time and vote. The countdown begins. Wow, wonderful. So we have 80% vote. And on that note, I am ending the poll and would share the results to you all. Yes.
Okay, great.
The result, I guess
Wonderful.
everyone can see the results. So 67% people have voted that yes, they have grieved, they have an end date at least less than
12
12
months.
months, and but still we have 25% of the people who says that yes, it's more than 1 year, and 8% still believe that it's a continuous process, it is still intensely grieving. And if we talk about the what effect it has on your mental health, and 67% people have voted on anxiety, and the top three were anxiety, inability to sleep and sleep disturbance, and of course experience sadness. This is something which we
Sadness.
really need to work on, because they are the one who are working in our organizations, and we really need to work very well that how they can come up with the productivity and their coping style. Their coping of grief is that 67%, the top three answer is spent more time with friends and family. So of course we should also think with, while making those policies and strategies, we really look forward to have more gathering, more social or informal gatherings, if we can put in ourselves in our policies. And of course the 25%, which we have 50% on spend time on creative
Creative
expressions, writing,
expressions.
art and hobbies, somewhat like that. And then there is a tie between two activities, which is listening and playing music. I guess a lot of people at our participants have also mentioned that in the chat columns. And of course reading books and increased exercise. Thank
And
you
the
so much.
exercise.
Thank you so much for sharing and this wonderful results. Thank you. Now, before we take the questions from the audience, and of course, I would like to ask one question from the panelist. It's open to everyone. We have discussed about that griefs is important. We have discussed about various griefs. We have discussed about the mantras which Minakshi has spoke about. Everyone you have spoken about. My question is, what are the signs of grief actually, and how have you managed the grief at your organization particularly? Have you found any of your employee who was struggling with the grief, and what strategies you have opted for him especially to come out from that zone? This question is open to all.
Um, uh, can I take this question with your permission, Michelle?
Of course, this question is open to all the panelists, so I would love to
Okay.
hear more views.
All right. So, see, I have been always passionate to guide people, mentor people, and it's not one case, but there were many cases wherein I actually could see my own people, my own team member getting into this anxiety mode and depression mode. And how I could relate to that is that. Uh, you know, uh, I mean, life is actually a journey. So everybody goes through ups and downs. It's a roller coaster ride, what I keep saying. Uh, it's very, very important to actually address this openly when you are in that state. And trust me, there is still a stigma of hiding that you are in depression or you are in an anxiety mode. And people really hold themselves to approach to counselors or psychiatrists, which I feel is should not be the case. You know, whenever you are feeling that you are getting into that state, start talking to your friends or start talking to your own near and dear ones with whom you really feel comfortable. So there was a team member in my own last organization wherein I could see I hired that girl as a trainee, and she became mature in my organization because we worked together for good 12 years. So there was a very, very strong bond between us. And she became a mother, she got married, became a mother. So it was like a complete, sort of a cycle from student to a wife and to a mother. And during the course of obviously, managing home chores, managing personal professional chores, it happens with especially with women most of the time, that they actually get stuck, and they really need a mentor in their life. And I could see that she was really going down in terms of productivity, was not able to really focus in the work. And she was a very good performer because I could see her. I actually could see her for over a period of time of for good 12 years. So but she was hesitant and she was holding herself back, she was holding her emotions. So I gave that platform to her, I gave her that comfort, wherein I used to have every day I used to sit with her, spend some good time, and we used to only talk personal things, no professional things. And she actually went out, everything what she was going through. So I just became a facilitator, wherein she started recovering from that point. And from there on, she did not really need a psychiatrist or a the counselors. So in case you find anybody who's near and dear one around you, you're feeling that person is losing interest in life or losing that charm or happiness, or in a sign of depression, just approach that person with open arms and try that person to vent out all her or his emotions. And trust me, this really helps. And I've seen this working very well with my own people. Michelle, you are muted. Michelle, you are muted.
I've
Yeah.
just realized it. Thank you so much, Meenakshi, for sharing such a wonderful input. I hope that everyone would also understand the same way the how you can handle, and I hope the other panelists also have the same view, or maybe a different if you want to share certain things.
I will super fast.
Yes,
The
please.
symptoms. One is through health. If somebody not keeping good health, that is one symptom. The other is harmony. He's not able to gel with people, networking, fellowship. That's the third one is he's holding back. He's not participating, or even if he participates, he speaks less, gives some negative thing. So I put it under this health, harmony, and holding back. These are the symptoms of somebody is going through a grief.
Wonderful. That's really well said, sir. And we really appreciate that whatever you have spoken about the symptom, that we really need to work on that. Thank you. Subhajit, on that note, I guess we should give you the chance to speak about the audience if they have the questions for that, for our, from audience to our for our panelists.
So I just found one thing that Mr. Harbhajan sir has to say something. Everybody is saying on demand. Harbhajan sir has to say something. So Harbhajan sir, if you have any points to share in front of us or the panelists, please, the stage is yours.
And we are ready.
Thank you, Subhajit. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're absolutely audible, clear.
Yeah.
Crystal clear.
First of all, I would say wonderful panel. My friend GP and all, Ruma, Vinay, Meenakshi, yourself, all of you have done a wonderful job. I
you.
only have to say that,
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, are you there with us?
I think we lost connection with him.
Yes, I think he has lost connection.
So we may like to take a few questions from the audience.
Yes,
And
we shall go ahead.
I would commit to give short answers.
One word answers.
I think he's back.
Oh, great. Harbhajan sir, are you back?
Take the audience questions. Harbhajanji is there around. No? He'll come back. He'll come back. Let's look at the Ghadi. Now it's 12:46. So better
Yes,
to take one or two
absolutely.
questions. And if we give
So, any
short answers,
question?
more than one could answer one question.
Any questions from the audience?
Michelle, is there any question from the audience?
Yes,
From the
sir.
chat box?
I'm already saying that if somebody can ask us some questions. I've also seen in YouTube, so there is few questions from the live also. I will just connect with you guys.
Yeah, mostly they are comments, not questions. While Michelle,
There is one
is,
question which has come from Dr. Binay Kumar on how to overcome grief.
how?
Michelle?
I'm so sorry, our moderator is again got
How to
disconnected.
come out?
In the meantime, I'll just take one question from Dr. Binay Kumar. And this question is specially for everyone. And his question is how to overcome from grief.
Yeah, Meenakshi has given the list of mantras.
Yes, if anyone could also join and say and give us their views.
Meditation, exercises, start with positive, end with positive, think positive, move ahead, don't brood over past. I mean, I will go with Meenakshi's mantras. I don't want to try and add.
I second your thoughts, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Meenakshi,
I think these are all basic mantras,
I
not
know, and
Meenakshi or
you
not yours,
बार-बार
but then
basic बोला लेकिन बहुत powerful है. You said मौलिक लेकिन बहुत powerful भी है.
Correct.
Thank you,
महत्वपूर्ण,
sir. Thank you.
महत्वपूर्ण
Thank
है.
you
Yeah,
so much.
completely. I second to that, Meenakshi. It's a wonderful mantras. And I guess everyone would understand that mantras. And Vineet, Ruma, if you can share your views on this, that how we can overcome from that.
Yeah, I second what Meenakshi ji said and what Dr. Rao is addressing. So it's
No, I
agree with what Meenakshi says, and
yeah, I could have said
follow
the same
that.
thing in different
Meenakshi.
However, I can put one technique which I often use. If you guys are all ears for that, there's one simple technique with a pen and paper. Dr. I think Binay, Dr. Binay, if you would want to implement that in your normal situation. So we are many a times depressed. We are many a times in a low mood. We do not know why we are depressed. So that particular day when we get up, we are cribbing about things happening around. We are not happy with the way things are shaping up in personal or professional life, or maybe some disturbances somewhere. Now, what I do at that point of time to immediately get over that grief, because if I am carrying on that full entire day, I am also giving it back to the people I'm meeting that day. So it has multitudinal effect. If I'm at home with my expressions, my husband is also not happy, my daughter is not happy, my parents are not happy. Why is she upset about what has happened to her, etc. Very normal way of dealing with such kind of issues. If you are at office, suddenly we all have faced, your boss will call you, he's not in a good mood, the entire team is not in a good mood, right? So in order to control this emotional turbulence which happens, you can give it a name of frustration, you can give it a name of anxiety, you can give it a name of grief, because obviously something is not right internally. So what I do, a simple technique, just to, if it helps anyone, is I take a pen and I take a paper, right? And I start writing my 3 immediate emotions which I'm feeling right now. As I said, my mental script is owning my emotion. So let's say I say, am I angry? No, I am not angry. Okay, then why am I behaving like that? So I will strike off anger. Second, I will write, am I feeling frustrated? Maybe yes.
Mr. Harbhajan has come back.
Third,
Sorry,
am I feeling depressed? Am I feeling sad? So what I will do is I will give names to those emotions and I will put forward, I'll write it down, 3 or 5 emotions. That's the first, is adding names to why
Can you put
are
this
having
into
a
the chat box,
feel
Roma?
of
I'm sorry,
grief.
I'm stopping you. put these tips into the chat box so that everybody will understand.
Sir, I am not very good in speaking at the same time writing. So if you don't want me to proceed,
I guess
probably
let's
take it
cut it
offline.
short because we are short with the time also. And again, we have to live. And thank you so much, Ruma. If you can quickly share us one or two more tips for that. It's wonderful that you are sharing wonderful tips with us.
It's one technique. It's very, very important technique. It's very impactful. Give me 2 more minutes. Let me complete it. So one is naming your emotions. The moment you name your emotions, you get to know what is the real cause of that grief. And the moment you know what is the real cause of grief, you can create a mind map and say, oh, I am angry or I'm in anxiety today because I haven't completed my task in the office. So you get to the point of knowing what is the reason behind it. And if you're aware of the reason behind it, probably you also can find a solution to it. This is how we train people in our organization in the past and the present to overcome depressive behaviors in employees or even in yourself. So try it out once again and you will really feel better in that particular day for sure.
Absolutely. We second to you, Ruma. I guess this is something which you have said that write it down. The script is there. I guess on that note,
Michelle, just would like to add here what Ruma has said. Just want to, there's a quote which is coming to my mind that life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
What I really appreciate.
Amazing.
The quote, which is actually fantastic on that. We should rain. And before I take second question from Mr. Paraj Mongia, I would request Mr. Harbhajan Singh, who is here, and it's our honor if you could speak a few things and a few tips for our participants and even for us as well. So.
Thank you, ma'am. I will not take much time. I will just talk of 3 points. One is, I had been reading in life about self-fulfilling prophecy. So what we talk to ourselves becomes our reality. Second, I will say, between stimulus and response, we have the freedom to choose, which Covey has been hitting again and again in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So like what will happen, we may not be having any control on it, but how we react to it, we definitely have control on that. And that is something that we should look forward to. And I think that, like we all have our own callings in life. Everybody cannot, every human being is unique. Means whether he is sitting at the top of the ladder or at the bottom of the ladder, but there is some uniqueness gifted to human being from the nature which cannot be copied. So we should be with a mindset to absorb the good things from other people. And no one is great or small. It is all the calling that they are achieving. If our plans do not match with the master's plan, all our planning goes for a stick. So let us be humble. Let us remember that there is a power which drives all of us. And the life which is there inside us has been a gift of that power. And maybe it will go back to it. And if we achieve our calling and just do what we are supposed to do and not be bothered about what the world says about it, I think we will be having a more comfortable life. Thank you all for giving me that.
Absolutely, sir.
Absolutely.
You rightly said, Harbhajan sir rightly said that your thoughts become your actions. That's really, really powerful. I'm a quote freak. I have a quote coming to my mind here that when the world is running down, you make the best of what is still around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Harbhajan sir. We are very honored that you have spoken, you have come across, and it's our pleasure. Thank you so much. And to all the panelists, over to you, Shubhajit, your platform. There is one more question from Paraj Mongia, and after that we have a last section.
The fun one.
Raj has questioned, how do I know if I'm experiencing anxiety?
I think I've answered that question, Michelle.
It has been answered.
Many a time. I guess, Paraj, you might be satisfied with the question and the answers everyone has put out. If one you can speak beneath, the question is to you because you are not You are quite
साइड चेंज कर लो, इधर
15
इस तरफ से करके लेटो.
I think can we
देखो
all
माचिस
mute
रखी है
ourselves?
नीचे मैम, जरा
Can we
आवाज
all
ऊपर
mute
करते हैं.
ourselves? A lot of disturbance coming. I would request everyone to mute
ऐसे
themselves
रोके
when
लंबी
Subhajit will speak. Harbhajan ji,
इधर और लाइट
Vineet,
पे रखती है.
all of us,
Tony.
let's mute. Harbhajan ji, can you mute? Yeah.
Yes, yes, he has muted. Vineet, I would prefer that if you could answer this question, because everyone is speaking and you are the one who is just listening to it, and we will look forward that if you can share your one more, thought on that. How do we know that if we are experiencing anxiety?
See, I'll again give my personal experience. Now, when I moved from Mahindra to Manleft, earlier in Mahindra, nobody used to disturb me on a weekend. Currently, in the place where I am as head of HR, I work 7 days, and I sleep at 2 o'clock night, and I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I only have 4 hours of sleep. So, and I continuously work. Currently, I'm there in the session, and then from 1:15, I'm again back to something which I've got back-to-back meeting till 8:30. So for me, anxiety, I dream about the work. I think about the things which are there in my mind, and it is a short-term thing. I always feel that this is going to happen for 6 months or 8 months or 9 months. So after that, things will improve and I'll be the king. So that's the way of looking at it. When anxiety is nearing you, you don't have to worry about it, because it will automatically move after some time, because you are the person to take control of everything. You have taken a decision, you make a decision, and then you move with the decision. So that's the way you tackle anxiety. You don't worry about anxiety that मैं सो कम रहा हूँ, मैं खा कम रहा हूँ, मैं बात कम कर रहा हूँ, I'm not there, I'm lost. It's not like that. The best part is you listen carefully and then you act on it. Right. So that's the way you tackle the anxiety. So that's my take on it. Thank you very much, Shubhajit.
So
that's a wonderful point. Yeah, thank you so much for all these important points and learning, because these learnings, if we actually use these points and if we move forward with these points, we will actually do good to our organizations also and to our personal life as well. We can have a proper life balance, what we always say, and we all require nowadays. So thank you so much. Now we will go with the last.
Shubhajit, I wanted to add one more point. I believe this is
please.
For the students who would be seeing the videos. The exam is going to be there on 13th of September, and there are a lot of protests which is going on that please try to just postpone the exam. It's all about the mindset of the students. So they might have prepared well, but now the thing is that they are fearing the COVID. That what will happen if they go for the examination center and if they fall sick. It's something that it will come automatically and it will come to everyone. So we will all be a COVID, we will be having COVID one fine day, all of us who are there in this panel, who are there in this group, and we will all recover from it. It's an Indian mindset. हम लोग बहुत काम करते हैं, viral fever होता है, सर्दी खांसी होता है, दवाई खाते हैं, ठीक हो जाते हैं. Is something what is happen again. So don't fear about the COVID part. It's just my thought to all the students who will be seeing that take the examination with all this pride, all your vigor, all your passion. जो भी आप लोगों ने पढ़ाई किया, you have done a lot of studies.
Hard work and
Right. So please go ahead and do it. हम लोग के टाइम में हम लोग 70% में भी खुश होते थे. आजकल तो लोग 99% लाते हैं. So please and take the examination with full spirit. Don't think about the other side that you will get affected. You'll have COVID problem. It's going to go away. Don't worry.
Well said, Vinit. Well said. Absolutely. Just go ahead, give your best shot, and move forward in your life. That is the best mantra that I always believe. So now we will go for the last section of webinar, and let's have some fun now, because we have learned a lot. We have done some fantastic, serious, dramatic discussions. Now let's have some fun and let's enjoy it. So I'm going to ask few rapid fire questions, and I hope you would participate fully, enthusiastically, I request audience to also participate at this round. Belongs to everyone. It is not only for the panelists, it's for everyone. Anyone can participate. I request panelists to speak while participate. Can we use a chat box? option. The first question, what is the strangest talent you have? Anyone can answer this question.
I do a movie review. I write blogs. I have my own movie review blog. So quite sincere to that.
Wonderful.
Short one, humor.
Humor. Oh, great, GP. Anybody else?
Socializing is my talent. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful. Michelle, how about you? How about you, Michelle? What is the strangest talent you have?
Okay, let's go to next question.
Okay. The next question
what
is.
Harbhajan sir has written, can sleep while sitting.
That's a wonderful one.
Can sit while sleeping.
So next one is, what is the most useless talent you have?
Giving advice.
Reaching people.
Giving advice, free of cost.
Being a detective.
Yes. Okay. Next question is.
Actually, talent can, Subhajit, talent can't be useless. Yeah, I am not.
No. Now in emotional intelligence, if your empathy and interactivity, if interactive is more than the empathy, both are talent, but it can be boomerang.
See, if I say like that, I think I have a talent of singing, and if I give somebody a tip, it's a no use. So that is a talent for me, cannot be talent for somebody else.
Talent, but for some other it's meditation.
It's a fun.
Yeah, but you say again fun only.
All right. So another one. Say something cool. One word. Cool word.
Chill. Just chill.
जाने दे यार.
मौजा ही मौजा.
मौजा ही मौजा. जाने दे. ये वक्त गुजर जाएगा.
कोविड भी जाएगा.
ये वक्त गुजर
जाएगा. Okay. ये मजा आ रहा है. इसमें ज्यादा मजा आ रहा है. क्यों नहीं?
Exactly.
है ना?
Harbhajan sir says, "Peene do."
Peene do or jeene do.
I guess the best cool. Everyone is spoken. I think that we all are cool. This webinar is cool, and everyone who is participating is cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
कोरोना रहते हुए भी करो ना. कुछ करो ना.
हाँ. सर करो ना.
हाँ. कुछ तो करो. कुछ करो ना.
घर पे बैठ के काम करो ना. कोरोना में कुछ तो करो ना.
करुणा के लिए मत वेट करना.
Right. Okay. Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words. Everybody talked about their past, from their places, how they have gone up. So now this is time. Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words.
I can start, Subhajit.
Please.
I stand for 3 P's. Okay. Passion.
Okay.
Positivity and perseverance.
Teenager.
Oh.
Teenager.
As a teenager.
I could see it is going in the wrong track.
You took it well.
Fantastic GP, fantastic one. The way you
Meenakshi, that's not right.
नहीं, हमने तो मेरा जो ऑडियो चला गया था तो मैंने कीवर्ड मिस कर दिया. मेरा ऑडियो चला गया.
Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah.
The question is, describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words. As a teenager. Chanchal, chulbul, chamatkar.
So I have written bold, bindas, beparwa.
Arey wow, Rumaji. Wow. Wonderful. GP, how about you?
Mine was small, from a village point of view. बिजली आएगा, अंग्रेजी सीखेंगे, हम भी शहर तक जाएंगे.
Wow.
I mean, people were not believing, but I used to say, नहीं बिजली आएगा, नहीं अंग्रेजी पढ़ेंगे.
बहुत serious हो गए sir.
No, but then this was, people were not believing me at that time.
Giving hope. That is something which is good.
Vineet, how about you?
Come on, Vineet. Come on. You can't say no.
Acha, Vineet, is it like Sharmila, Shant or Shab?
आप जो बोल दोगे मैं मान लूंगा.
नहीं, मुझे तो लग रहा है विनीत को देख के वो ऐसा लग रहा है कि शर्माना शब है और शांत.
देखिए ऐसा होता है कि you should not go on the looks. The cover of the book can be deceptive.
Look at
Absolutely.
Don't go by
This
that.
is just to open
No,
the
it's
book.
all fun. It's all fun.
What about you, Subhajit?
Mine is like bindas, badmash.
Okay, I also want to quote now correctly as a teenager. I'm energetic, adventurous, and risk taker. Yeah.
Oh, risk taker.
Okay.
Yeah, risk taker.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Participants.
Now, how about the participants? There is nothing coming. Hiresh.
Always second to you, always bindas.
Always second to you, always bindas. Okay.
Bindas. Irish.
Acha, one question. One last question. Okay. What if anything have you ever regifted? Have you ever regifted anything to anyone?
Anything regifted? हाँ, अरे हम तो सर्कुलेट करते थे भिलाई में. I lived in भिलाई for long, no? सर्कुलेट करते रैप चेंज करके फिर वही चीज वापस करते थे. जो हमको मिला.
ऐसा तो नहीं है, it came back to you again?
हाँ, it came back to us. हाँ. And we never, हमको कभी खराब नहीं लगता था. कभी खराब नहीं लगता था.
Meenakshi said love. That is another thing. The more you will circulate, it will come back to you in a more positive way, in a more stronger way. Fantastic. Fantastic, Meenakshi.
Always.
Love. So I don't have any questions, nothing as such. I absolutely say now, thank you so much. Thank you all the panelists that you took out your time and you attended this webinar today. That's the end of the webinar today. And we are so thankful to all of you that you took out your time and you make this happen. And this webinar has become a fantastic thing, you know. So if you have any other questions, please contact Michelle Khanna at info@l2sworld.in and also at l2sworld@outlook.com. We are also coming up with another series by next week, and we same would communicate to you via WhatsApp or social channels. You can WhatsApp to us on the number 9354894902. The number is 9354894902 for further series of webinar. Certificates on participation would be provided to all the students and freshers. For today's webinar, I request all the students who have not registered and participated in today's webinar, either through Zoom or Facebook, kindly drop us an email starting your participation for certification at info@l2sworld.in. You also receive a certificate email within 24 to 48 working hours with a link to view a recording of today's webinar. We would appreciate if you would provide your feedback on social channel, because that will give us a motivation to do better and better and better. And you can find our account on our social platform like YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter by the name of L2S World. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Subhajit. On behalf of L2S Virtual Learning Connect, by led us to success, and our guests GP, Ruma, Meenakshi, Vineet, and Subhajit, and of course Harbhajan sir, and all the participants, Hirish, Paraj, Binay, other participants, Sandeep, who have participated a lot. Thank you for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.